Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another monster video. So in today's video, we've got a new monster that I wanted to do an analysis on, and that is Mad-Triark. So this mythic monster will be available very soon in game, and you can obtain it. I'm not sure in what event, probably a breeding event again. You guys can let me know in the comments down below for those of you that have seen leaks. I haven't actually seen them yet, but for those of you that know, make sure to let me know in the comments. But anyways, Mad-Triark is one of the newest monsters, and I'll be doing an analysis today. So this is going to be everything you need to know about this new mythic monster. So I hope you guys are excited. And if you are, smash like button. Also, subscribe to the channel, notifications on. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, as you guys can see, this new monster's name is Mad-Triark, and it was posted by the community manager of the game, so everything here is official. Maybe they'll tweak some things here and there, but most of the time when they publish it like this, and it's been hours, of it being out, they don't change anything. So, yeah. Anyways, let's see. It's got a short lore. I'm not sure if this is a lore or not, but let's just read it. What makes this alien bug extremely dangerous is her innate need to control every being around her by transforming them into babies, more specifically into her babies. If you ever get close to Mad-Triark, please refrain from looking directly at the light of her shiny womb. She'll use it to distract and absorb you into it. Okay, that's short and interesting, I guess. But I've got to say, I don't really like the design of this monster, to be honest. I'm not sure if you guys like it, but I personally don't. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think about the design. But I've got to say, the design is terrible. I don't like it. It's terrifying. Anyways, let's take a look at the skills. Malleable Mind deals low dark damage to all enemies, applies possession to all enemies. So you have an AoE possession to start off with. Alright, cool. Broken Spirit deals moderate light damage to all enemies, applies curse to all enemies, transforms all enemies into babies, requires cooldown. So I've got to say, this skill right here, it's basically a better version of Katarine's skill. You guys remember Katarine when she was out? I mean, she still is, but it's just that not too many players really run her. They're better deniers now, right? So this is basically a better version of Katarine, I've got to say. You also have Born to Fight, which resurrects one ally with 50% and applies life regen to it. Transforms one ally into a baby, requires cooldown. So surprisingly, there is a resurrection skill. So this is like a denier mixed with support, I'm guessing. I mean, you have a resurrection skill, right? Life regen. But there's a downside. You transform the ally into a baby, so they lose a turn. So you gotta be careful with this skill. Also, any pierce attackers, such as, or just pierce monsters in general, like Spectra, can just pierce through it, so gotta watch out from it. But let's see what else we have. Broken Well deals heavy light damage to one enemy, applies a stamina leak to one enemy, transforms one enemy into a baby for 2 turns, requires cooldown. So you're applying stamina leak, and you're transforming one enemy into a baby for 2 turns. So it's like a mega baby reversion. Let's just call it that. I've got to say, I think this is the first monster that could actually do that. First corrupted, that's for sure. But I'm not sure if it's the first monster in general in ML that can turn the enemy into a baby for 2 turns. Like, we've seen it once, right? Like regular baby reversion, but 2 turns. I don't think I've ever seen that, especially for corrupted monsters. So in here, we could just see that this is a better version of Katarine. That's for sure. Apparently, there is a resurrection skill. So that's surprising, I've got to say. I wasn't expecting that. Let's take a look at the traits. You have True Vision right away at rank 0, so you don't even have to rank this monster up to get that. So True Vision is actually a pretty good trait. So all these skills that you see here, all the denial skill, everything in general, she won't miss it. So when she attacks, when she tries to deny, it'll fully land, which is really good. At rank 1, I'm not sure what that is. Let me see. It's hardened, apparently. I thought it was tough, but it's hardened at rank 1. That's pretty decent. Rank 3, you have cooldown immunity as a status caster. And apparently it is a self cooldown protection, not to all allies. It is just for herself. It comes in handy, but in most cases you don't really need it. Although it is actually good against Panduf, but Panduf still has that cleanse skill, so it doesn't really matter that much, honestly. So Panduf could just end up cleansing that, and then next turn just hit her with CDA because it's a status caster, it's not a trait. Vitrix, on the other hand, Vitrix, this monster's status caster is good against Vitrix because Vitrix can't CDA her unless the status caster runs out eventually. But it is a light corrupted denier, apparently. She's mainly a denier, but also kind of a support because you have the resurrection skill there, but mainly a denier. So for relics, you have Mask and Trap. Mask is good, but Trap not so good, to be honest. Now the reason why I said that is because take a look at the life. You have 89,274. So it is a bit risky since her life is like average compared to the other corrupted monsters. It is average. But speed, on the other hand, that's great. 6,534. That's a great amount of speed. So good amount of speed for a Denier. That's really good because Deniers are supposed to be fast, right? Life, on the other hand, could have been better, but it's somewhere there. It could have been better though. It's average. But yeah, you don't gotta worry about the power since it's not an attacker. But yeah, I feel like maybe an SN would have been a better choice or something. You know, either an SN or something else, maybe a staff or something for this mythic would have been a lot better. But it is what it is, right? Trap. So for books, she is in Evil Legions, female, and Adventure. So you got 3 books. It's better than a couple of the other recent monsters that have been out because they've been lacking, and like in terms of like books and stuff, because I've mainly seen like 2 books max, and that's it. The rest of them are just books for not team wars, but like just the regular books where you can get rewards from it. You know what I mean? So in terms of war, you got 3 books here, which is actually pretty decent. Evil Legions, female, and Adventures. Anyways, basic attacks. Mother Alien transforms 1 enemy into a baby. It's a 0 damage, 0 cooldown. Of course, 24 stamina cost. Now, here's the thing with this skill. It is kind of spammable. It's just that you need the 24 stamina. Unfortunately, it costs 24 stamina. I kind of wish that was 0, so it would have been spammable. So you can continue spamming the baby reversion over and over again, right? But I know they're like after you transform an enemy into a baby, I know it tells you that you can't actually do it again until you either end up cleansing it, or for example, they get a turn in, and then after that turn you can do it again. Because normally when you try to deny an enemy, it works, but then after they're done being denied, it tells you that they're immune to it for like a turn or so. But then you could have just, you know, for example, used a skill against a Megaton, for example, right? Like Pangolight or something, and basically turn him into a baby, and next turn you could have just used it again against a different monster, like an attacker or one of their deniers. But hey, you can still do it. It's just that it costs 24 stamina. And so it is sort of spammable. It's just that you need the 24 stamina. You also have Universe Invasion, which is a low light damage to all enemies. Applies curse to all enemies. So if you want this, you can go for it. It's a 0 cooldown skill, but it costs 30 stamina. You have a Weak Mind. That's one of the tier 1 skills. It's a heavy dark damage to one enemy. Oh, dark. That's pretty surprising. So she also has a dark element, apparently. Not just light, but also dark. That's pretty interesting. So you're dealing heavy dark damage to one enemy, applying possession to one enemy. So if you want a single target possession while you're dealing heavy dark damage, go for this one. It's a 1 turn cooldown and 36 stamina cost. You also have Unlimited Soldier, which actually resurrects all allies with 1% life. That's pretty surprising. So you're resurrecting all your allies with 1% life, transforming all of them into babies, which is actually unfortunate. So I don't know how to feel about that because after they turn back to normal, it's risky because they only have 1% life, right? So the enemy can just take advantage and eliminate them again. And it is a 3 turn cooldown, so it's not spammable, you know? 3 turn cooldown and 48 stamina. Then you have the AoE possession, which we already seen, but you guys can take a look at the cooldowns and also the stamina cost. Now, the cooldown stamina cost, it's actually pretty moderate now that I see it. 3, I see 2, 2, 3, 2, and 1 and zeros, right? So not high cooldowns. It's somewhat average. So you do have the 0 cooldown skills, the 2 0 cooldowns, and the basic attacks if you want to run those. So you'll be fine against cooldown activation. But it's really up to you. Now, in my opinion, the best 4 skills that you can run would be Born to Fight, Broken Will, Broken Spirit, and Malleable Mind, the 4 that were mentioned up here. But if you want to play around and go with the Mother Alien, which is in the basic attacks, you can kind of spam that. It's just that you need the 24 stamina. You can come up with a play with that. Either that, or the tier 1 attack where it's called Unlimited Soldiers. You can resurrect all allies with 1% life. You can probably come up with a play with that as well. I'll have to see once this month's out, and once I get her, I'll have to say if I can make some nice plays with it, with those skills. Then you have your ultimate, Final Sacrifice. Deals heavy light damage to all enemies, disables all traits on all enemies, applies curse and mega possession to all enemies. That is an amazing ultimate. It's just that if the enemy has dodge area, or if they have, for example, Mega Taunt, this won't be good because you're gonna have to cleanse that first, right? Or for example, trade disable their dodge area in order to actually land this. But other than that, it's an amazing ultimate. Alright, so for obscure talents, here's what I recommend giving, guys. If you have the Spelling Fist, I recommend running that. So after you hit them with a skill, you can go ahead and remove positive statistics from them, right? So it's nice having that obscure talents on this monster. Also, you can go with Unholy Vigor just to recover your stamina. So that will help you sort of like spam Mother Alien, for example, if you want to run that skill. You can go ahead and continue spamming that over and over again. Not just that, but also if you do have Smite, the trait disable obscure talents, I recommend giving that. So after you hit the enemy, for example, if you're going up against Pangolin, right, the Megaton monster, the one with the trait Megatons, you can go ahead and trait disable it. Although you can turn it into a baby, yes, I get that, but you can also just trait disable it. So then next turn, even though it comes back to normal, you have it trait disabled, so your other two monsters can just attack whoever they want. You know what I mean? Now going back to the relics, guys, here's what I recommend giving. You can go with, for example, Jazzy's Mask. Okay, so Jazz's Mask, if you have that, give it in. You can do Eoltron's Mask, that also helps out. For the other relic, the Trap, I recommend giving either Wormhole Trap, which is actually pretty popular. So if you have that, that'll be one of the best to give. You can go with that. Or you can do, for example, Mantis Claws. If you have Mantis Claws, I recommend giving that. And there's also a couple more traps that you can go on and play around and give to this mythic. But those are some popular ones that you can give once you obtain it. Once again, I don't really like the design. The design is terrible. I really don't like the design for this one. But besides the design, you know, the skills kind of make it up. She's basically a better version of Katarine once again. So that kind of makes it up, you know, for that. But once you obtain it, for the runes, here's what I recommend giving. Given either triple speed or triple team speed, or you can do 2 speed and 1 team speed, or whatever the play is. You got to come up with a play, of course. You can go in and pair it up with some monsters like Pure Panda. So Pure Panda full speed, 6 in the first turn, removes positive status effects, right? And then this monster could take in the turn right after with, like, for example, 2 speed and 1 team speed, and basically denying the enemy. And then you can have your attacker or your Megatons, but most players will probably run an attacker on the side just so that you can go on and attack after they're denied and stuff, you know what I mean? For example, Spectre would be amazing with this monster since you can turn them into babies, and Spectre can just pierce through and still hit the enemy while they're babies, basically. So that would be some nice plays you can make with this monster. So just wanted to point out some mythics that would be nice. Also, the dragon monster in the past, Chilong, you can also pair it up with this mythic. You can run this mythic with 2 speed and 1 team speed, while the dragon has like triple speed. Or you can even do triple speed, and then you can have your either Megatons or whatever monster on your side after that. Because remember, Chilong has the fastest speed, right? So you might as well just go with triple speed on him and triple speed on this one. You don't even got to do team speeds with this. Since Sam monster's faster, so you can just do triple speed if that makes sense. Okay, but yeah, just come up with a play, and it's a good denier. I gotta say, it's a good denier. But life could have been better. Also, it's just the relic, you know, the trap. I wish that was something else. But other than that, it's an amazing monster. I still don't like the design. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy today's monster analysis, and I hope you learned something new. If you did, smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. Let me know in the comments down below who you guys want me to do an analysis on next, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.